Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing 8 easy and budget-friendly tips to help you create a beautiful container garden without breaking the bank. If you're like me, you've seen stunning planters on porches and patios, the ones that look lush and vibrant but kind of expensive. And maybe you thought, I wish I could have something like that, but it's just way too pricey. At our local box store, medium-sized pre-made arrangements go for around $40 and the larger ones go easily for over $100. It's tempting to just grab one off the shelf, but with a little creativity and some simple tricks, you can DIY your own for a fraction of the cost or even for free. Let me show you how. One of the easiest ways to save money is to make a little money first. Every year, the first thing that I do is take a walk around my yard and assess what I can dig up or divide from my existing plants. Then I'll put those starts into Walmart bags and I'll list them on Facebook Marketplace. Usually I'll charge about $10 a bag, and on average I'll make $250 to $300 each season I do this. This is such a simple and effective way to offset the cost of buying new flowers. Plus, perennial starts from local gardens tend to do better than from store-bought ones because they're already established. That's why people, myself included, love buying them. In fact, I always sell out super quick. Some of my best sellers include catmint, hydrangeas, hardy geraniums, and lamb's ear. I also dig up my candle lily bulbs every year and sell those for about $3 each, and they go fast. And while you're at it, go ahead and check your shed for old pots and plant stands, garden decor, anything you're no longer using, and list them online. You might be surprised how quickly the cash adds up. Another easy and budget-friendly way to grow annuals is to start them from seed. With a little planning and an early start, you can grow beautiful flowers without spending much at all. Our local library actually gives away free seed packets every year, which is such a great resource. I've had amazing success with zinnias and coleus this way. Another tip is you don't even need fancy seed trays, you can just sow them directly into containers. And if you find something that thrives in your garden, collect the seeds at the end of the season and save them for next year. It's a simple way to build your garden for free year after year. One of my absolute favorite ways to save money on plants is by shopping the clearance racks. The trick here is to check them often, and it really pays off. You can score deeply discounted plants and sometimes even snag ones for free. Big box stores don't make much profit on plants, so if something starts to look a little bit rough, they're quick to mark it down. I get the majority of my plants this way, and with a little TLC, most of them bounce back beautifully. Sometimes they just need a little pruning and some water and a little bit of time. Keep an eye out, especially in the spring. If there's a late frost, stores often don't have room to put everything inside, so you'll find lots of frostbitten plants on clearance, and oftentimes they bounce right back with a little minimal work. Another great time to shop is later in the season. Many greenhouses offer 50% off as they're preparing to shut down for the year. They're usually open to negotiate too, as they just want to clear out their inventory. And don't forget to check out locally owned greenhouses too. Not only can you find better deals than at big stores, but the plant quality is often much higher because they get better care. Plus you're supporting a local business, so it's a win-win. Next up, one of my favorite tips is to shop your own garden. In addition to annuals, don't overlook your perennials. They can look absolutely stunning in containers too. I've used hostas, ferns, lamb's ears, sedum, coral bells, and many more. Let me show you how I incorporated some of these in this container. For this arrangement, it's going in a spot with partial shade, so I started with a small hosta from my garden. Then I added some of my favorites, which is verbena. I love how it falls down over the edges, as well as dichondrum silver falls as a spiller, then paired with sweet alyssum and another perennial, lamb's ear. I love the combination of white blooms with silver foliage. I feel like it looks so soft and elegant. And for my next container, which gets full sun, I reused some calla lily plants that I had planted earlier this spring. What I love about calla lilies is even though they're done blooming, their foliage adds so much interesting pattern and colors. I was really careful when I was digging them up so I didn't disturb the roots too much. I wanted this one to feel bright and colorful, so I added some salvia, mini snapdragons, and some colored mixed dahlias. Here's a quick tip. When you're creating your own containers, always leave a little room for growth. Overcrowding can cause issues later on. And after just a few short weeks, here's how my container is looking. If you're enjoying this video, I'd be so grateful if you give it a like. And if you want to see more DIY home and garden content, I would love for you to be able to subscribe and join my YouTube family. Thank you. And lastly, here's a fun and practical container I love. This one's planted entirely with calla lily bulbs, which helps hide some of the power cords on my patio. Since I save and replant bulbs every year, it's totally free for me. Plus, I love the bold tropical vibe it brings to the space with these huge, lush green leaves. Another money-saving hack I love is buying hanging baskets instead of individual plants. For example, in this container I already had a sweet potato vine and super vista petunias. Then I found this hanging basket filled with verbena and petunias for just $3. So simply divided it up and then used those in 2 separate containers. Hanging baskets usually come with 3 or more plants, so especially if they're on clearance, you get way more value for your money. The basket was in great shape and just needed a little bit of pruning, which you'll normally be doing as a regular part of maintenance anyways. I especially love doing this with New Guinea and patience. It's one of my favorite annuals because they thrive in sun or shade. A single plant usually costs around $7, but a hanging basket runs about $16, so you can easily divide it into 3 healthy plants. And after just a few weeks, your plants will be full and lush and thriving. Buying containers can get expensive, so it's always smart to shop secondhand or clearance sales. Check your local thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, or end of the season clearance sections. That's how I scored these planters. I love the style, but not the metallic finish, so with a quick coat of Rust-Oleum outdoor spray paint, it completely transformed them, and they match perfectly with the rest of the containers on the front of the house. You can also repurpose almost anything into a planter, just make sure it has proper drainage holes. Just use a drill with a large bit, and if you're drilling into concrete or maybe ceramics, make sure you use a masonry drill bit. Next, save the plastic containers that your plants come in and use them in the bottom of oversized planters as fillers. This cuts down on how much potting soil you need, and it keeps the pot lighter and still allows for great drainage. I use this trick all the time in all my large containers, and it makes such a difference. And the last container hack is to use old soil at the bottom of your pots. While old potting soil might not have enough nutrients left for healthy growth, it works perfectly as a filler underneath the fresh top layer. Just add new soil on top where the roots need the most, and this way you're recycling what you already have and you're saving money at the same time. Next up, one of the best ways to save money is to create your own container arrangements. Now I know this can feel a little intimidating at first, and trying to figure out what looks good together in terms of color and texture and shape, but I also think it's a lot of fun. I start by browsing store displays, scrolling through Pinterest to spark ideas and see what combinations catch my eye. A simple way to get started is by following the classic thriller, filler, and spiller formula. It really works. So for a thriller, here is my statement plant. You can place it in the center or towards the back of the container. For my spiller, these trailing plants spill over the edge, adding dimension and softness. I love mixing purple and chartreuse sweet potato vines for a beautiful contrast. And fillers round out the arrangement and bring it all together. For my shade containers, coleus is my favorite, so much color and texture, and you don't have to worry about fading blooms. I also love using begonias in the shade for their vibrant color and long-lasting appeal. I've used this exact combination for years, and every time it fills out beautifully and looks amazing by mid-season. Do you have a go-to flower combo that you use every year? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your favorites. Also, let me know if any tips that I might have missed that you find helpful with your container gardens. And if you've made it this far, finally, my last tip is don't forget to fertilize and maintain your containers. No matter how beautiful your arrangement is, it won't thrive without regular care. I like to feed all my pots once a week using Miracle-Gro. It's super simple and the directions are right on the container. Regular feeding keeps your flowers blooming strong all season and helps them look their absolute best. I also use this time to check my plants and see if they need a little pruning. Some flowers like begonias and patience naturally shed their blooms, but others like petunias benefit from a quick pinch to redirect the energy into the new growth. A little maintenance like this gives your plants a big boost. And the number one key to success with container gardening is daily watering. It can feel like a chore sometimes, but honestly, it's my favorite part of the day. It gets me outside and gives me a chance to appreciate all the hard work that I've put into my garden. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found these tips helpful and feel inspired to create your own beautiful container garden. If you enjoyed this video, don't miss out on the next one where I'll be showing you how I made a simple yet stunning water garden. It was super fun and surprisingly easy, and it adds a whole new element to my backspace. So click over there and join me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.